Alternatively, I could just straight up take the audio from this stream because I'm streaming both of our audio,
Yes.
and I have it set to upload a VOD.
Yeah. We just want to have full quality of my mic, but if that doesn't matter for you, then that's fine.
Yeah, no, so let's actually record ourselves. Okay.
All right, wait. Now, before you get too far engrossed.
So I'm gonna start recording.
Oh shit.
And then we'll sync up in a hot sec.
Yeah.
For some hot sex.
Where's record? I forgot.
It's at the bottom.
That's right. It's literally that button. Should I keep it at 48,000 hertz this time?
Yeah.
Instead of
4400.
40. I can do 44.1.
Yeah.
44,100.
Yes, that's what I said. 4400.
Oh, fuck. All right, I'll take that. What's the shit called? Imaginary Room Podcast, I think is where I saved this shit. Oh, no, I didn't. Oh, cancel. File. New. Audio file. Well,
Do I really want to draw during this? I feel like I'm going to get myself really worked up if I... And drawing might not...
Well, you gotta, get started at some point.
Yeah. Today I drew myself in third person.
Cool. Oh no.
Without like looking in a mirror or anything, I just drew myself, and other people were able to recognize that it was me. So that was cool. I definitely didn't think that I was at that level. It's possible that I just underestimate myself a lot.
Like, I think you do. I still think your self-portrait you had done that one time was amazing.
The painting?
The self-portrait painting, yeah. And
everyone thinks it's amazing. It's right. One stupid award that doesn't matter.
That's what I'm saying though. That's why you definitely do underestimate yourself way too much.
Well, for one thing, that painting was a total. I'm not gonna say a total fluke, but if you could see the layers of paint underneath it, you would know that I painted two portraits before that one and painted over them.
Oh, well, it still looked nice.
Yeah.
How the fuck do I get you this?
Okay, so are you recording right now?
Yeah, I'm recording my doodles. Yep.
Okay, so do we want to try and sync up now?
Yeah. What was the thing though? I forgot what the sentence was.
I'd rather have a bowl of Cocoa Pops.
Yeah.
Cocoa Pops, but I don't know why I keep saying Cocoa Pops. It's just this thing stuck in. It doesn't really matter as long as we're saying a sentence.
I like Ian's paintings a lot.
But anyway, whenever. It doesn't really matter as long as we're saying a sentence. Do you want to start or should I?
I like Ian's paintings a lot. Oh Jesus Christ! All right, there we go. Okay. Sorry, what was the thing?
I'd rather have a bowl of, and then I
Cocoa
say
Puffs,
Cocoa
right.
Pops.
Yeah, okay, and you just want to know if you want to know who wanted to start?
Yeah, I also just turned up my my power level, so nice. That I can reduce latency as much as possible.
Right. I mean, you started it last time, so will that make it easier with like continuity and stuff?
It doesn't really matter.
All right. Well, then I'll go first because you went first. All right, you ready?
Yep.
I'd rather have a bowl.
You're supposed to say of, too.
Oh, okay. All right, I'm going again. Going again.
Okay.
I'd rather...
Wait.
Mm-hmm.
We need to...
You want me to make a big noise?
Make it easier to locate when we were first trying.
Okay.
Because I have like a bunch of dialogue before this.
Yep. All right, I made a lot of noise too, so okay.
Okay.
I'd rather have a bowl of...
Cocoa Puffs.
I don't know, that was a pretty big delay for you.
Yeah. but I said it as like right after on my end.
Oh,
So
okay.
uh,
Ooh.
it's like that's just internet.
All right,
So,
whatever.
you know.
Oh, we could just look at. We could What does your Windows clock time say?
9:32. Do
And
you
if
want
you,
me to go to millisecond?
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I'm at 9:32:41.
I'm at 44, 45, 46, 47,
Okay. We'll
48,
say it when it gets to
49,
33. We'll just say
50.
mark at 33, okay?
Okay, we will mark at 33. See, Mark.
Mark. It's marked. It's fine.
Okay, yeah.
I literally think our
Whatever
computers
happens.
are a millisecond off, and that pisses me off, but whatever.
Well, it's the internet. It's just the signal traveling through the tubes.
Okay. Now,
It's not that our computers are off. It's that sending this audio, like the
oh,
amount of
you're
time that it
right.
takes for the audio to travel
From us.
through.
So we marked at the proper times, but the internet made it sound like it's all right. Come look at what I did with
Yes.
my OBS though before we continue.
Okay. And yeah. All like as soon as we've marked, that's all that really matters.
Yep.
Now we can do
Whatever we want.
whatever. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
See, so
What
we've
the
got
heck?
so we've got my standby here, right? I don't know, it's standby. And then if there was a game, I made this little thing for my games. It only works for full screen games. I don't know what that one is. Oh, that's just that one. And I made one where I could switch between my desktops. Boop. Oh God.
Well, this is lovely. What's up with your background, though?
Which background?
The standby.
Oh, here. So I took that picture on the left there a long time ago. I don't know when.
Yeah, but you need to fix your edges.
Oh, dude, I don't give a shit, man.
It'd be as easy as adding some feathering.
All right, I'll go take a look at the thing.
Like just
should I
go
just
into
keep this
Photoshop
running?
and
Should I
effects, and then add some feathering.
Should I just keep this running?
Sure, why not? I don't think it doesn't really matter. Like at the end of the day, no one's watching this.
No one's watching this. That's a very good point. I appreciate it. Cool.
And if someone is watching this,
I
then
appreciate you.
they can tune in to our podcast, which is what we're doing right now as well. But yeah, this is the imaginary room.
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna leave all that in. That's gonna be great. I don't even know when we're gonna release this though.
You forgot.
Could be.
Yeah.
Could be this week. Could be the end
Infinity?
of next week.
Dude, it could
the
be when
issue
we're
is-
wildly famous.
Yeah, and it's also like the issue of we haven't released the first one yet, and so the question is this our first one? Like we're just gonna ignore the ones that we recorded before,
We can always.
or
we
do
can
we
always
want
just
to
voice
release
over.
both of them like right now?
We can always just voice
Not
them
right now.
over and just cut it. It's better being my.
You can put them together into one super long podcast where we take a week long break.
We just make
because
it
why not?
Yeah.
But yeah, first of all, what you been up to this week?
I have been playing Dota 2 and some lovely Dungeons and Dragons over the internet. And huh?
Wow.
Oh wow. Yeah. It was pretty fun because I just decided to be insane and apparently everyone loved it. That was cool. Didn't expect that. And then what was the third thing? Oh, and then I started trying to learn C# so I can hopefully mod Rust. It's not going too well right now.
Yeah.
And then yeah, we played Rust and I set up, like you can see this, and then I set up a Ubuntu server that doesn't do anything, but it's there.
Ubuntu.
Ubuntu.
if you could see my stream right
I
now.
have it open.
Okay.
You blinded yourself or something. Oh, there you go. Okay.
See, I've got this nice shortcut on my pen. Lets me double click the pen to take take a screenshot.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, well, I
I don't want
scan this
that.
in. Well, no, it's like I don't want to like scan this in or anything. So I just put it in front of the camera and screenshot that, and it's fine.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm watching you do that right now.
I'm like, no one has to know. Also, ground rules. I think beyond just avoiding naming other people, we should try to reference the podcast as little as possible. Now, obviously, we were hosting a podcast. I'm talking more about like, well, we're streaming it. Like, for the people who are just listening, they don't know what we're doing. So, um, of course, you know, if you want to know what we're doing, you can just tune into our live streams and keep them on Sundays.
Okay, so you're just saying just try and not reference the live stream.
Yes.
Okay.
Because for the sake of people who are just listening, this can exist as
A podcast.
solely an audio podcast.
All right.
With around with whatever.
Important questions here. Where the heck is the feather tool?
Okay. Give me a sec.
Yeah, I think
Opening
I hear you
Photoshop right now.
I can hear you opening Photoshop.
Okay.
Don't ask what that means. Tool.
That's a great question. I mean, technically, when people refer to feathering, it's in
I realized, yeah, feathering.
that way. But it's more just asking you to
blend it.
Blur the edge a bit, I guess.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yes, it's too sharp of an edge. But I don't know how.
I've got the blur tool up, and I'm trying to merge it with a background. No wonder that's not working.
Anyway, I don't know. You do you. So do we want to jump right into our topics and see what's up?
Sure.
Okay, so lady fakes pregnancy.
Oh, that was
Okay. Or fakes quintuplets.
Yeah.
For
okay,
9 months.
I did actually go and read the rest of the article.
Okay.
So what it generally was is she basically like had been with this dude for like a couple months, and then just faked being pregnant, so like they could get a bunch of stuff, but like she you know they weren't like in a super long-term relationship yet, and I guess her family said she's done stuff like this before.
So maybe don't date her.
Yeah, I guess he broke up with her and like returned all the baby shower stuff they had.
That would be the decent thing to do. Given that your whole pregnancy was
and the worst part is like he was like super excited at the idea of having kids.
Oh yeah. See, that's the big issue.
Yeah.
Like, obviously you can't do that to people because, you know, it's a horrible thing to do. But also, what if people are really excited to be parents? And then it's like, well, I guess, what if guys are really excited to be parents? I mean, I don't know, maybe females, you know. I can't decide or assume your sexual preferences. But what if your partner is really excited to be a parent? And then it's like, well, actually, you're not, because I lied the whole time.
Yeah.
Joke's on you.
And then the more interesting debate in the comments was just about, of course, when I say the comments, I meant the comments of where I found the article originally, being good old Reddit. The debate in the Reddit comments was just about what subreddit was this really, because it was originally posted on r/holdmyfries, which is, meant to be like overweight people like trying to do athletics, but it's not really working or something like that.
So not appropriate whatsoever.
Right. So people were like saying, though, the interesting part was people were talking about like, oh, is this fat people hate leaking over here? Because that was a subreddit that got banned a while ago. And that was kind of
Which, seems like... I don't know what I was gonna say.
Yeah. I don't remember what I saw some of them, and it's like I can understand some people just, I don't know why. Actually, no, never mind. I don't know. But yeah, I guess it got banned as a hate subreddit, so that happened. But yeah.
Now, is it fat people hating thing or
People
hating fat people? Okay.
That's what it used to be.
See, that was my assumption, but
you just want to make sure, yeah.
You never know. It could just be like fat people hating on.
Well, just subreddits like that. Damn it, I don't know where the link dump was, but there's quite a few. Let me go see if I can find some. There's some great subreddit names that you'd think something else, but they're not. Oh, nope. This one. There we go. So if I told you, hey, go check out r/wetpussy, what would you think it's about?
It's gotta be cats, right?
It's cats, yeah. Yep. And there's like this one dude, who is it? I don't know. There was one mod who oh no. Yeah, there was a mod who went and started taking over a whole bunch of subreddits and doing this lovely takeover. So right now I'm on r/preteen pussy. Oh man, that was a risky click. I did not know it was gonna come up there.
What is it?
It's lovely cats who are not basically any cat, because technically a teen cat is old as shit.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah. Oh yeah.
But I think
like,
they're.
What's the preteen part? Is it like cats owned by preteens? Or...
Oh my god.
What?
Oh my god. It's fucking adorable. Sorry. There's a very. No, I was saying apologies for just, bobbling over a just adorable fucking kitten I've ever seen. Of course, no one can see it, but yeah, it's I'm gonna try and describe it using my lovely vocal skills. Honestly, though, it doesn't look like it's a house, not house cat, but it looks like it's a stray, and someone has it so that the kitten's face is. Like it's a super. I don't remember my knowledge, but it's like the lens of the camera is super tight. Well, the focus though is like really, really a fine focus. So it's like only the kitten's face is in focus, and then as you go out, the entire background is just blurry. But you can see it's a very. Huh?
Bokeh.
Yeah.
The term for the focal point being in focus while the background is blurry and out of focus.
Nice. And so it's very disheveled fur. It's got very nice like forest green with a tinge of blue eyes. It's a tawny pelt? No, that's a name. Shit. It's not taffy.
Calico?
Yes, I think that's what that is. Calico. I literally named a fictional cat cat's name from a book series. Yeah, it's a Calico. It's a very it's a calico. It's got a smudge of black, like a very smudge of black on the left side of its nose. The tip of its nose is white. Above that smudge to the left is a patch of orange. Opposite that is black. Then its cheeks are lovely ginger.
You could definitely show this on your stream too.
Yes. But you said we're not trying to do that. We're trying to do an audio podcast too.
I know, but also now the people on the stream also cannot see this cat.
Can you come look at this cat? Oh no, you did, didn't you? I'm stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oof. Oh my
So I
goodness.
know you weren't streaming it.
Just threw my mouse off my desk.
Oh no.
There's some hair on my mic. Fascinating stuff.
But anyway,
It's staring in my soul right now. Okay.
subreddits are great.
Yeah, I love Reddit. Those are great. Yeah, that's right. The subreddits.
I've met some people who like are not fans of Reddit, and I'm like, why? And they're just like,
yeah.
well, because Reddit can be really toxic. And I'm like, yeah, everything on the internet can be really toxic. Don't hate Reddit for the people on it.
How the fuck did I accidentally search that error? That's funny. Don't just save that.
And then someone was like, or I was talking about eye bleach, and they were like, what world do we live in where we need websites like this? And I'm like,
the world is terrible as it is.
yeah.
It's people just trying to make it better. Look, if I don't know, witnessed a murder or something in real life, there's a chance I'd probably go to eye bleach if I wanted to try and forget it. I mean, I feel like I'd get fucked up if I ever did, but
Assuming you're not like already dead because you were a witness.
fair enough. Shit. Yes. Ooh, what was this music? It's good. Damn.
Now, I think we're also kind of. I feel like we're losing our flow here from the first one. The first one went really well.
Oh yeah, that's because we had fucking lunch and we talked about a whole bunch of shit. It was great.
We have so much to talk about though, because we haven't talked in a week.
That is true. Yeah.
It's just that we're not focusing.
That's right.
And
it's because we were just looking at adorable kittens and shit. So, how is your classes then going?
Oh, okay. So that ties into if you check the topic chat, I've got the one.
Oh yeah,
about
the Disney.
Why this guy quit his dream job at Disney, which directly ties into my thing. I'm kind of mad. For context, if anyone wants to watch/listen to that video first, it's by Brandon Dayton. It's called "Why I Quit My Dream Job at Disney," and basically he is kind of he's talking about how or why he quit his dream job at Disney. Which, for one thing, the reason why I never want to work for Disney or like Marvel, I like Marvel, but I don't want to work for Marvel because Disney
owns them. No.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
But like I don't want to. Disney used to be about kind of the art of it. That was under Walt Disney, but with like their new direction that they're going in, it's more about saying. I think the word for word was like how much money they can milk out of intellectual property, which is absolutely awful. Like, what the heck, Disney? In what world is it a good idea to say that around people?
Yeah.
Like, think it. I mean, your corporate headquarters, like,
corporate. That word makes me upset.
Like, things for intellectual property for as much money as we can make. But like, don't say it where fans can hear, because they like it because it's like
art
what
and
they care about.
Yeah.
But he's opposed to it too, but in his video, he's kind of complaining. For one thing, he's raging against art itself, which capital art, sorry,
Oh.
which I am also upset with capital art, but he's basically saying that school is kind of becoming really focused on how to create art to make money, and how you shouldn't create art to make money. You should create art to follow your dreams. And while I totally agree with him about that, you shouldn't say that you should never create art to make money. You do have to make these compromises, because at the end of the day, like, as a professional artist, you do need to live.
Right.
Like, people are like, oh, starving artists. Well, like, if you just don't give up your morals.
It's like,
but like,
it's like supply, demand, and fun.
yeah, but like, you can't sort of hold this idea of only making art for sort of pleasure all the time, because you need to make a living. And then, like, you can't complain about how, oh yeah, art's awful because, you know, you're doing it to make money. Like, do it for both. Don't do it just for pleasure, unless, like, you have another job and, like, you think of art as a hobby. Because, like, if you're going to be a professional, like, you kind of need to go all in. But, like, don't do it just to make money. Like, don't work on things that you're really opposed to because, like, oh, I need to make money, you know? It's all about the money. No, just, like,
Not to
find that
interrupt you here,
in-between spot.
but I think one of your emails just popped up on your overlay.
Oh, no.
It was about a Smash tournament, I think.
Oh, my goodness. That's tomorrow, isn't it?
I didn't read it enough, but yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there.
Smash and Mario Kart.
Thought you might have won. No.
I don't know how to turn on Do Not Disturb or whatever.
Great. Well, I interrupted
Quiet
you
hours?
for nothing.
I think quiet hours works. Anyway, that sort of gets me into my big thing that I've been thinking about for. I just keep bringing this up over and over again, but I was like, I kind of want to talk about this on the podcast. Kind of like my big issue with capital art. So I was talking to one of our artsy friends, and she recommended a movie, and it's called Exit Through the Gift Shop, and it's kind of about this guy who starts documenting documenting these street artists.
Yeah.
And, like, eventually he meets, like, Banksy and stuff, like all these big street artists. And, like, throughout the whole process, he's kind of just doing it because he's really interested, and, like, he compulsively, like, films things. But like, by the end of it, he's become this street artist, or, like, in and of himself. My issue with it is that I think he's a fraud. Which, it's either that is the point, or he's either doing it to make a point, in which case this is the kind of art that I'm looking for, this, like, meta art I can't remember if I talked about this last time, but, like, part of the art is the reaction to the art. But
right.
I can't tell whether
the
that's
thing
what
with
he's
your
doing.
project with the you finished it but then attempted to make it look unfinished.
Yes.
On purpose.
And like, I can't, because his name's Mr. Brainwash. People want to look him up. For one thing, he employed a bunch of artists to make all his stuff. He in no way, or at least movie, he had no hand in any of the the artistic process. He just hired a bunch of people. He basically paid for people to make art so that he could sell it for tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands of dollars. Um, and all these people were basically like pretending like they had heard of him before. But like, no, you haven't. He didn't exist like 2 weeks ago. He skipped the whole process of like becoming an up and coming street artist and moved right to he made a gallery, filled it with a bunch of art that he paid other artists to make for him. Um, and then hundreds of people in LA showed up to it because they wanted to buy his art or get like free like collectible piece or in like um unique piece of art that also didn't exist until after he knew people were going to show up. Um, and he kind of splattered paint on whatever. Anyway, I think he's either a terrible fraud or like since he's Mr. Brainwash, and he said that his whole point was like to talk about how people are kind of brainwashed. If what he's doing is showing how all of these people are willing to jump on and pretend like they're interested in this artist who didn't exist before, who no one had heard of because he's the new thing, then I'm all for him. But at least from the way that the movie portrayed him, he seems like he's just kind of leeching off the street art community in order to make a bunch of money and feel like he's an artist without actually creating anything for himself. Um, and that's sort of part of my big problem with capital art and like the idea of like lots of people in the art community. Most people in the art community are not artists; they're art collectors. But these collectors aren't collecting because they're genuinely interested in what
Just because
an artist is doing. It's more
their
because
value, their
they have
monetary value.
so that they can kind of say that they have this.
Hmm.
Like, I've got a
The prestige.
Picasso.
Okay.
I've got a Banksy. I've got a Mr. Brainwash. Or like I've got a Monet. Actually, like all big time artists are mostly at museums, but like still, it's kind of just like being able to say that you have like art from all these people and like, oh yes, I appreciate this art for its intrinsic value, and like I kind of realize no one in my art classes is like pushing the envelope because they're sort of complacent with like art right now, which is funny because at the same time everyone is sort of like deifying these artists, these avant-garde artists who like kind of did their own thing and went against the grain and like did like all this new and crazy type of art like according to tradition because they wanted to better express themselves. And it's funny that now everyone is sort of like uh, art adapted to those artists and then it just stopped. So like there is no more pushing the envelope. It's not like these people started it and now we're going to keep going, which I understand like these sorts of things can't last forever. But it's just like people have become complacent with talking about how great these other people were for pushing the envelope without doing it themselves.
Yes.
There's like a much conversation here, but I'm gonna let you talk because I have been I feel like I've been rambling.
I mean, I don't know if you were rambling. Those good points. I don't, not really, being too much of, necessarily, I guess I'd say an artist or stuff with art. Um, I guess though I can't offer my opinions as a what do you call someone who enjoys art but for its art?
Connoisseur,
Okay, I was connoisseur.
I guess.
I
I don't
do
know.
end up supporting artwork that I like, that I want to see more of, or in cases that you don't, just the fact that someone made something that I could enjoy, and technically you can continue enjoying. Unfortunately, for me, experiences like that have very diminishing returns, and so some art, I'll look at it. Like I have so many pictures on my phone that I'm never gonna look at again. Um, and even if I did, I'd just be like, "Oh, I remember that. It was cool." But no, I do get what you were saying about the fact that it's frustrating that people are not really about the art in the art anymore. They're about the
The value of the art.
the prestige and
Yes.
stuff. But no, and I guess I'd say that's annoying. But I'm not necessarily. I don't have any stakes in this, so I don't really have an opinion, and I don't notice these things because technically all the art that I end up looking at is all, stuff that people just do as their hobbies and such. Um, yeah. And
Well,
most.
I've also got this kind of issue with art as a hobby. It's I'm not saying you can't like art as a hobby. You definitely can. It's just like people who I've sort of started using the term career hobbyists, who are like people who go to art school because they like painting or because they like drawing, but not like I want to create art and I want to like make something that inspires people or that in some way affects people when they look at it. It's more like I want to paint pictures because I want to be an artist and like I want to make pretty things and it's like well no, but like art isn't just about making things that look nice. It's about expressing something like with it's sort of because fine art I think we have this certain vision of fine art that is sort of is antiquated vision of fine art as like kind of this unchangeable thing with like
Frustrating.
music a lot of music like real music not like pop music no
Mm-hmm.
pop's not real music pop is a product it's not art well, I guess a lot of things a lot of it's not just fine art like if you look at movies at least in Hollywood like in America and Hollywood there's a lot of like movies not films because a film is art and a movie is solely entertainment and it's not that films can't be entertaining films should be entertaining like what why are you watching it if you're not in some way entertained but like it shouldn't all be like explosions and like
Right.
shooting people for
Action.
2 hours. Yeah, there needs to be some substance to it, but it kind of seems like there's not. Or like pop music. Pop music is huge. It's like the main kind of music that everyone pays attention to. I'd say. Um, but like it's very shallow and it doesn't. It's kind of skin deep beauty. It's not like real. I don't know. Maybe I'm just too critical. I kind of expect too much, but like when people talk about art, I want it to be something where it's like it's got a message or it's supposed to inspire people, which is like it's really weird. But in the last couple months, I've been like really getting into like rap music because it's it's sort of this genre that it's partially because I'm very frustrated, and so I'm looking for like real art, and I'll like a lot of the big time rappers are kind of big because they are producing real art, but it's kind of just like there's this stigma behind rap where you can't sort of like if you're listening to it, it's hard to look at it and with not through the lens of pop music and like for direct interpretation. So for one, at some point you have to realize that like people talk about how rap music sort of deifies violence. It's all about like, making violence great and like talking about all these violent things. But you kind of at some point have to realize that these people are artists, and if all of them are talking about the same thing, but not all black people are violent, that must mean that it's a part of the genre. It's a sort of this persona that a lot of rappers will put on. So like Kanye West, who I used to think Kanye West like Kanye is crazy, but after I started listening to his music, I'm like, okay, Kanye, I kind of get what people are saying. They call Kanye a genius because is like he is a great producer. He knows how to bring all of these different elements together, even if it's not necessarily like him at the center. He knows how to bring these elements together for like some sort of purpose. Like if you listen to Yeezus, which is like his, I think there was a lot of controversy around it. I believe there was, because it's sort of like people are saying that Kanye was calling himself God. Like if you listen to the album, it's like art. And you can usually tell when something's art, like really art, like heady art, if for one thing they've shown themselves to be intelligent outside of whatever their thing is. Um, like they've shown that they put a lot of thought into stuff, and then it's absolutely crazy. So like the movie Mother, absolutely crazy. I had no like I understood what was happening, but I didn't really understand happening. But I was aware that it wasn't just like them randomly throwing ideas together. It had some sort of deeper meaning, and so I recognized it as art. And so like after I saw that movie, I've become more conscious of like when people are like intentionally trying to make something artistic versus kind of when it seems like more of a fluke. And so like Yeezus, it's crazy because like sort of everything that rap music is and is thought about in music in general, it sort of goes directly against it. It's like this um like crazy combination of whatever that I don't know. You kind of have to listen to, or like Kendrick Lamar's "To Pimp a Butterfly." It like I get why people like Kendrick Lamar now. Before, I used to think that rap music was all about violence, but now like listening to it in the state of mind that I'm in, he's sort of this not really anti-establishment, but he's sort of a uh, um it's sort of what's the word? Encouraging people to sort of
Change their views.
I guess I don't know. To Pimp a Butterfly is really about sort of self-empowerment and um, like this whole feeling of being down and like you gotta get up. Um, I don't know. I feel like you should listen to Pimp a Butterfly, and you should listen to Yeezus and I think Graduation by Kanye. It's also I like that album, and I think The Legend of Pablo or something. I can't remember the name of it, but I think it's also pretty great. But I just realized I've been rambling for a long time. Uh, I don't know. It's like I can feel that it's like it's I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm just frustrated because people are making all this uninspired art that doesn't mean anything beyond looking nice. And I'm not saying that looking nice is bad. I'm just saying that it should mean more than just looking nice. That's kind of what I've been working toward this whole time.
That's what the setup was for. I see. Yeah. Sounds like you find out that life isn't as Ooh, excuse me. Isn't as straightforwardly conforming to expectation that you hoped
No,
for.
it's kind of the exact opposite of that I was aware of these. No, there's no way that this is reality. Like there must be more to it. And now I'm out in the world and I'm sort of exposed to a lot more people, but I'm seeing the same thing.
Yeah.
Now I'm starting to realize this isn't like a small group of who are inspired. It's I am in the minority of like people who really want to push the envelope and change things and do these things that are perceived as crazy because like I want it to mean something, and it's kind of just people are so focused on like making money that they don't really care so much about what they're doing. Like just look at pop music for one thing. I don't really know that many people who I'm not gonna say don't respect pop music, but kind of don't like pop music. Like, do you like pop?
Um. I
Do you just like sit down and listen to the radio, like
no.
vibe up to all the music?
I guess not.
But like, why?
It's because I've listened to it a bunch and it's all the same.
Exactly.
I mean, the new
Because
stuff,
that's what sells.
the stuff that became new was great the first few times. Then after that, they keep playing it, but I don't want to hear it anymore. I've listened to Happy thousands of times now at work because they just keep playing it, and I'm sick of it.
And yeah, like, it's kind of selling out, or like, I don't know, like, art's not really about making art anymore. So it's not about self-expression and communication. It's about sort of marketing yourself. It's almost marketing yourself as a product, but also yourself as a producer of products.
A producer.
A source of prestige that people follow because it'll make them look better within different social circles. And it's I don't know. It's really upsetting me, as you can tell by the fact that I've been talking about this for like the last month.
I suppose. Yeah.
Like the first month of college. The first month of college, I didn't fucking too hard. I was kind of just like, okay, I'm here. And now that I'm here, I'm like, okay, where's the
Exciting stuff.
where is life?
Yeah.
Like, no,
I
this
found
is life.
out.
Just the life sucks, and everyone knew it ahead of time. Everyone, well, not everyone. Like adults, kind of lie to you, and well, life is great and
Yeah.
stuff.
There's.
But like at the end of the day, it's kind of just the same thing over and over again. And, like the things that people do enjoy are like really sort of shallow and meaningless. Like
I
let's
mean,
go out and drink and like I'm not
but
saying
see,
you
that's
can't
that's
go
the
out and
thing,
drink,
though.
but like
That's
to what end?
that's
What's the
there is no end.
purpose?
That's the purpose is to do something that you enjoy, because that's all there is. Like, I go to work to get berated. I don't get berated. I don't know. I guess some people do, but bothered by people all day asking for help and shit, and
But
moving
like
shit tons of stuff. I do all that.
work to make money so that you can keep living and go to work. Money.
No, that's not true, though. I don't keep working to go to work. I work to live, to build
But why are
my
you living?
computer and play games and hang out with you guys. Like,
And that is your purpose?
for now, I make
I'm
what
not
my
like
purpose. No,
trying
I
to
get it.
trash it or anything.
No,
I'm
I get what
just
you're saying. I
like,
get what you're saying. No, it's just I
pushing
don't.
you to.
I understand that I don't really have a purpose, but I can make it. So far,
What's
I've
more,
made.
just like, if you're happy with it, like, what's the matter what other people think?
That is
You do.
correct. Exactly. Yeah. And
People
then of
don't
course
live
the
for their
issue.
careers. People don't live for their live to or you shouldn't live to work. You should live for your hobbies or like
Yes.
live towards developing your career,
Mm-hmm.
your job, because
Because your
there
job
is a
is now
difference
your
between
hobby.
working. Well,
Yes.
there's like a difference between working and having a job. Like a job is something where you go there in the morning and like you look at your watch and you're like, oh man, it's already 3 o'clock. And work is like you're working there for a long time,
You
like
pull out
same
your
amount of
watch. It's
time, and you look at your
11:30.
watch. Yeah, it's like, oh man, it's 11:30. Like if you're counting hours until you're done, then you're working. If you look at the time and you wish that you had more, that
That's your
it's a
job.
job and a career. If you don't want to leave,
So right now, Ian's issue is that his job is becoming work, and he doesn't like that.
it's not my job's becoming. It's more that I thought that more people.
Would want to make it their job. Instead, they make it work.
Yes.
I keep pointing at my
especially because
webcam like you can see me.
I mean, I can't see you. There's just some
Wait, you can see me?
Yeah, there's just latency.
Oh, I didn't know you were. I didn't know you were.
Yeah, I'm watching your
I see
stream.
that.
But
That's
yeah,
great. That's actually that really makes me happy.
sort of. I've noticed people look at the project as projects. Well, not yeah, they're still projects. When other people look at the projects, they look at it as um, uh, working for a grade, and I look at it as working to make art. And so I don't care what grade that I get, which that's the best. Like if I wouldn't recommend everyone do that. It's kind of just because like it's at this point I've kind of acknowledged, yeah, I'm a smart guy, and so I don't really need to worry absolutely failing as long as sort of the teacher understands that I'm doing everything is deliberate. Any omission or rule that I'm not following is a deliberate, well thought out choice. It's not sort of me not doing something because, oh, I'm just not going to do it. Or me, sometimes I will forget to do something. But if I forget to do it, it's usually because it's not important to the meaning of my thing, and it's easier to omit like certain things to s- towards like my goal and or my message. But like other people see it as like I'm gonna do this project because it's a grade, so I will look at the rubric, do all the things in the rubric, and get it done. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, I have to make a project. Sort of fits this general idea. How am I gonna sort of add my own flair to it?
Yes. Yeah. I don't know. I've been.
But like, what are your goals like right now? Like, you said build your computer, right? But like,
Right. And what I mean by
what's your
build my
goal?
computer
Is it just to
is it's
keep building the computer, or like,
yes, it's
do you
to
have
just
specific
upgrade and have
goals? Like,
nice stuff because
mm,
it's cool. But like that's what I'm doing now is it's just like I enjoy playing games that allow me to hang out with people consistently. So like with Counter Strike, I'd always have Josh to play with, be able to share experiences with him, and then I had Overwatch with you guys for a little while, and that was
yeah,
great.
it's uh, it's more. I just don't have the time
Yeah,
for
no, I realized that it
Overwatch.
started happening with that. No, I'm just saying that's wise. I enjoyed having these experiences with you guys. Um, the other thing though that Counter Strike offered, which was a little different, which was it offered like this sports competitive, like competing type thing. Like people play basketball. They'd have their own at their local gym. A little tournament or whatever. That sort of thing,
Yeah,
practicing your
rec center. Because
skill.
why would you
Right.
pay to play a
But you get what
sport?
I'm saying, like,
Yeah,
your local, like, you guys throw together a team, some other dude has a team, that sort of it's obviously not super big. Like, you're not a pro or anything, but like you play because you like to play and you want to get better at it and keep playing. That's part of what Counter Strike got for me is that you could get that sports competitiveness. Um, But yeah, no, play. That's what I do. Is I just I don't know. I guess in interacting with people in group oriented things that don't involve actual people. That's the important part. I get pretty anxious with lots of real people. Sort of. Maybe I don't know. Maybe not as much. But um, I guess yeah. Other than that, there isn't much. I mean, there are some days when no one's online. I just feel like useless, and I just go lay down and like just browse. I just browse the internet, Reddit, looking for stuff that's entertaining. But those are some points in life where there's not much meaning, and the way I view that then is those are some times where if I wasn't or was around, it wouldn't matter. Like I could just not exist for 5 hours one night, and then if I was able to come back into existence again later and keep doing other stuff, it wouldn't affect anyone. But I guess I I live to invent ways for myself to occupy myself sometimes. Like I've been getting kind of on the edge of boredom with nothing to do. So now I'm over here trying to learn frickin' C sharp to mod a game. Why? Because I wanted to see if I can do this thing. Is it gonna happen? Probably not at this fucking rate. But
okay, you
what?
totally just
Huh? What?
you. What?
Hello?
Hello? Hello?
All right, what just happened there? Ooh, internet
I don't know.
troubles.
Internet thing was stupid or something. I don't know.
All right. How much of that did you get?
It'd be safe to just repeat the whole thing.
All right. Um, I was saying I basically live to invent things to occupy myself, and the main example I could give was I was getting bored of like just on days in the last week where no one was able to do anything because they were just doing their stuff. So I made a goal for myself of, well, one game we've been playing, Rust, I want to try and make something in it. So let's go see about doing that. And now I'm over here trying to learn C# because it's a goal I've set for myself. I'm sure it doesn't matter if I do or don't make it, but it'll occupy me for hopefully the next while, and then I'll be bored and then come up with some goal, and I don't know.
Yep. I definitely not. Oh, I figured out what the issue.
I'm watching right now your alt Windows tabbing here.
Give me a hot sec. It's my power. It's switched to battery saver.
Ooh.
Because it's 25%.
Oh.
So
Yeah,
that's why I just like all of a sudden you started dying.
I see it. There it is, right there. I like how you're like, let's turn it to performance mode, but not plug it in. Or was it plugged in?
I was like, it could be clicking stuff, and then I looked down, like Leaf, and on the power thing, and I was like, oh, it's because I'm on my battery, which I shouldn't have been running from battery anyway.
Yeah.
Should always have this thing plugged in.
Always.
Whenever.
I don't have those issues, boys and girls.
If I'm near an outlet, I should plug it in.
Desktop. Anyway.
I have a desktop. It's just that I have better drawing stuff on.
Can you like connect the frickin' Surface to the desktop and like get it to extend and act as like a drawing tablet? That'd be cool.
I'm not gonna lie, that's probably a thing, but I don't know how to do it. What's up with the pixel density here?
Oof. I don't. I can see you doing this. I don't know what the pixel density. It's looking nice though.
It's 'cause okay. Gotta make it bigger. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how people do this, where they like draw it out. It's always like smooth lines. And
well, because they've got one of those gloves.
Well, no. Like this is pixelating because it's a raster. Like I don't know what their settings are. Where whenever they're drawing, it's always like
Illustrator.
I don't want to use Illustrator.
I am kidding though when I say that though. I can send you some pictures. You won't like them, but I can send you some pictures that'll show you that your crispy lines that you're talking about don't exist always. I think I'll hold off on that. I think I'll hold off on that actually.
They're always crispy lines. I recognize that it's crispy lines aren't really a thing, but I want crispy lines whenever possible. Maybe this will. Is this gonna work? If I sort of drag this layer into here, it's still kind of crappy, but it's so much larger. Is it so much larger? No, because it's the same pixels. It's the same pixels horizontal and vertical. I don't know. I thought that would change anything. Anyway, back to the podcast. We're just talking about our own stuff, I should stop ranting about art. I think that's my main takeaway from all this right now. I need to stop talking about art, because art gets me worked up, and I ramble on for hours and hours about essentially this, and I literally talk to anyone who will listen about how frustrated I am with this. And it's like, I just need to, calm down, get my head straight, and realize then either someone does not care, or in the long run, it doesn't matter. I just kind of need to do my thing, and hope that by me doing my thing, it inspires other people to do their thing. And now that I have this outlet to talk about it on, hopefully other people will hear, and it will inspire them to do whatever. But yeah, if anyone's listening, whether it be you're listening to this like a day after it's uploaded, or 3 years after, just do your own thing. Don't. Art's a construct, and don't listen to. I don't want to say don't listen to the man telling you what to do. But don't listen to the man telling you what to do.
Because some people need that. My brother did.
I guess, yeah, that's true.
Did, but it still does.
Your brother does.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I'm not. When I say the government, I'm talking about sort of. If you are this person who rages about how people need to sort of be individuals, then don't be a sheeple. Like, you practice what you preach, basically. Don't be stupid. Think for yourself. And if your thoughts align with others, then okay. And just don't do things because other people are doing them. For instance, you don't want soldiers to be mindless drones. Otherwise, it would be drones. But kind of, if you think about all the atrocities that have been committed in history, if people were aware, took a second to stop and think, is this really something that, which I'm sure plenty of people do, if you ever have that moment, maybe don't do it. I don't know. Sunrise it. Take some time for yourself. Think it over. Figure out what you're doing is something you believe in, or if it goes against your beliefs, and if it goes against your beliefs, why were you going to do it in the first place? Just we need to be able to think for ourselves. I think everyone needs to be able to think for themselves. But then if they need to, act within a collective while thinking for themselves. We aren't ants. We're not going to... We don't have a hive mind, or think is one thing. So you're going to have your own thoughts. And your opinion is just as important. So I don't know what I'm saying anymore. Ignore me right now. I'm rambling again. Anyway,
Uh,
next topic. Before I
I
go
don't
off
know.
the deep end again.
I don't really have another topic.
We can always talk about Die Alone,
Yeah, I
but
saw that.
I'm
What
not
was
so
that
sure
about
about that.
there? Hmm.
Um, I don't know.
You all right when you type that,
I,
bud?
well, I feel like I'm sort of. College is an interesting place, and
Yeah.
I think that I'm sort of finally reconciling with this thought in the back of my head. It's always been there, and it's sort of like I'm gonna die alone, you know. Everyone's sort of worried about dying
I
alone.
hate to tell you this. I I mean, okay. First of all, what do you mean by die alone? Actually,
Um, I guess I've been traditional sense of like sort of not meeting your soulmate or
okay.
not getting
So
into a
so
relationship and
having so
having these
dying with
people
just
who depend
having no
on
one who cares about you.
not really no one who cares. I don't think it's possible to survive with absolutely no one caring about you,
Okay.
but there's different levels of connection with people. Um, and so like not having that sort of deeper level of connection because like you've kind of got your parents. Like your parents uh, they care about you, or at least they say that they care about you. But your parents don't want to sleep with you. It's a
Hmm.
different kind of love. It's not the love where you sleep with them, obviously, because or maybe your parents do want to sleep with you. I don't know.
God. There's
I can't,
videos
I
of
can't
that.
speak for them.
There's videos of
Um,
that. I can vouch for that. I've seen some.
that's if I mean it's illegal, so
So what?
maybe avoid those videos.
Wait. What do you mean?
Unless it's
What do you mean
cartoon,
it's
it's real
illegal?
people.
No, no,
In
no,
the
no, no, no,
United
no.
States, incest is illegal.
Yes. Okay. Sorry, but it's not. It's implied that they're related, but they're not usually.
Well, yes, of course.
I'm a
Because
connoisseur of
otherwise
fine
it's
pornography. Okay, deal
illegal.
with it. Hmm.
Like with step siblings and stuff, it's not technically illegal because they're not actually related, but it's frowned upon. Um, but anyway, um, your parents don't want to sleep with you. That was my idea here. Um, and I'm not saying go out and look for relationships where people want to sleep with you. What I'm saying is that there are very different types of love, and sort of when you think about when people talk about dying, they're talking about the sort of very intimate one-on-one love that you really only have one or two people in your whole life. And sort of when you talk about dying alone, it's anxiety about not finding another person who loves you that much or who cares about you that much. Um, that's sort of what I'm reconciling. I've always thought like I'm probably gonna die alone, but now I'm sort of reaching the point where it's like, yeah, I probably will die alone. What's necessarily wrong with that? Because we're sort of, I mean, from a biological standpoint, you definitely should not um, sort of, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Biologically, we're supposed to, find a mate. That's kind of our whole biological purpose is to reproduce your genes and sort of create offspring and spread your seed, if you know what I mean.
This is taking a turn.
But
Hmm.
as humans, we're sort of, I don't know, as sentient beings, we sort of able to go against our biological urges and impulses, and so I don't know if it's just me, but I kind of just I don't feel like I am programmed with as much of a desire to seek out a mate and reproduce. It's more just like I think it'd be nice, but sort of in my mind when I simulate different sort of outcomes and directions that I can go in with my life, I don't really see a relation as a big part of my future, and I'm kind of realizing that it's not. Maybe I'm one of those people who isn't going to get into a relationship and find this person who I deeply connect to because I've got like issues with connecting to people and stuff. Um, but what's wrong with that? Maybe I should just once I learn to accept that, it would be sort of freeing because then I'm not worried about sort of looking for someone. And then maybe if I do finally meet someone, like I can sort of be myself and I don't have to worry about impressing them and sort of trying to convince this person that I am a good choice. Or they'll realize that for themselves. Realize that I'm not a good choice and then move on.
Holy shit.
What?
I didn't know you had any sort of issues like that. I gave up a fucking long time ago.
Yeah, see, like, it's sort of become more fresh in my mind because I was talking to this person that we know, and she asked me whether I was gay or not.
Oh.
Yeah,
Nothing wrong with that.
Didn't like
Nothing
straight
wrong
out
with that.
yeah,
Just
she
in
didn't like
context
straight
of,
out ask
in
it.
context of Ian, it's fine.
Yeah, she
Got
didn't
it.
like straight out
Okay.
ask it. She was more just like.
By the way,
She was. I don't even remember the context. I was saying something. I was talking about some girl that I know, and she's like, "You should date them," and I'm like, maybe not. And then she was kind of just like, I hope she never listens to this ever. She'll know who she is. She was kind of like, well, I mean, like, is that something that you're interested in, or? Uh,
oh
and
man.
I like realized,
Where they were going with
she
that.
has.
Like,
And the funny thing is, it's not the first time. It's not the first time someone has asked me this question, and so I've become very aware of like, oh, that's kind of how people see me is like they perceive me as not interested because I'm not spending like every waking moment like I don't actively like well not I don't actively but like I don't know what to say.
I think I know what you. I think I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
Yeah, I
I've
guess.
I've relegated it to. It would be nice to happen at some point, but in terms of connections with other people, it's too much fucking work, and I can't do that. Like,
Yeah.
I I see other people, and it's really nice when they're like, "Oh, sweetie pie," and you see your parents acting, and you're like, I'm very happy that worked out for you, but right now, I I can't be asked to care that much about another person. God, what was the thing I was watching?
Well, I'm not. I'm.
Huh?
I I was like vibing with you there for a second, but I wouldn't say that I'm asked to care about another person. It's more that I just I have trouble connecting to people with like attachment.
Right.
For instance,
What I mean though is
I'm
that
not sure if my parents have noticed this yet, but I I'm in no way attached to them like I should be. It's like a child parent attachment.
I get what you're saying there. That's what I'm saying is that caring about someone, that is the attachment though. Like I said, the anime I was watching this lovely anime called Steins Gate, where this dude, after like fucking the entire damn season ends, he realized, he's like, holy shit, I've shared all these experiences. I realized that I would worry if something happened to you, like I the level, when you get to that level of you are now worrying about someone else, like are they feeling fine, and shit like that. That's caring for someone. That's where you get to whatever you were talking about and your level of connection. I've got
But the issue is people
no, I get it. It's
do that
two
just to
different
be
means to the
nice.
same ends, though. You're like, oh, I physically can't do it, and I'm like, I don't want to do it because it's too much fucking work. But who gives a shit, man? I mean, if you give a shit,
Well, no, that's
I don't know
kind of
what
what
to
I'm
tell
saying. I'm getting to the point where I don't, because like
care, yeah.
I
Yeah,
I kind of try, but like to what end? I'm
Mm-hmm.
still in the same place, and
Yeah.
maybe I'd be happier. Well, not happier, because
I don't know.
generally
Can you
about the
tell
same
what
regardless.
I've replaced any sort of human empathy in terms of a relationship with?
Video games.
No.
I'd say video games.
What no, right,
Specifically,
but I
like
can't
relationships in
actively.
Counter-Strike.
Right. I guess you could say that.
Relationships with other people within the
But
context of video games.
I'm talking about a live being. What's the closest thing I would ever be willing to do anything in terms of have like a physical relationship with? When I give you the answer, I'm gonna have to explain myself because I've built this up in the wrong way.
I swear, if it's me,
No,
okay.
no offense. Cats, like cats would be the only thing I could totally be willing. Like I'd be at work and be like, "Holy shit, did I forget to leave something shut? Are they gonna kill themselves?" I would be freaking out. If it's any person, my parents, like what my little brother, I don't give a shit. It's like I'll get there and I can be worried about them because they're there. But like, I'm pretty certain if I owned a cat, I would be way more thinking about it.
Well, I think that's because animals sort of tap into like parental instincts of like you're worried about this thing because it entirely depends on you. It
Yes.
sort of can't survive without you, which is partially because we train them to think that way and like breed them into that.
Yeah, I suppose.
But like, they kind of can't survive without you because you are their source of food and shelter.
Shelter and stuff. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying though is, like, I could do that, and it's an animal mainly because I wouldn't have to talk to it. I would obviously have to communicate with it, but the fact that I wouldn't have to talk with it and just we'd have to learn how to live together, it would just be a lot better than like a person because a person.
I'd absolutely love to just like talk to a pet, but I'm like.
You can't have pets over there, can you?
No.
Yeah.
I wish. No, actually, no, I don't. I'm not in the place where I can take care of another living thing. But I wish that I was.
That's why I don't have a cat because I literally cannot physically care for a cat right now. I say physically because I already said I could physically, but I can't.
Well, but I feel like if someone got you a cat, you kind of have to adjust and
I would
step up to the plate. You'd either give it away because you're like, no, I can't do this, or you sort of step up and be like, okay, I have to take care of this thing now.
I gotta get a second
I'm
job.
gonna do it. I don't think you'd need a second job to take care of a cat. Probably just cut your expenses because you have so many expenses.
I have like not nearly as many expenses. Like most of my expenses are my living.
But are they?
Mm-hmm.
I thought you had like a $200 extra income that it sort of ends up going towards random crap.
As far as I've figured, it hasn't been anywhere near 200 in excess. But maybe it has, and I just spend it without really realizing it.
Like, I'm pretty sure when we went over it, it was like
But yeah, that was based off of an
150
estimate.
to
That was based on
200.
an estimate, though, of if I managed to make that much in a month.
True.
Can I look at that for month? Else month. I've got a thing right now. I'm trying to see if it'll tell me. What's this one?
I also love that we have been talking for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Like, it just flies by. Like, I want to make these long because I really like doing this. And, like, I know that you're probably going to want to cut it off at like
That's
2
okay.
hours or something.
Yeah.
I'm just like, let's just talk
That was 'cause
until
at the
we
end
run
of
out
2
of
hours,
stuff.
I think I was tired and just ran out of shit.
Gotcha. Okay.
More 'cause
I
I was tired.
definitely
I slept 14
wanna-
hours last night.
Wow.
Yeah. I haven't been sleeping well. So.
Oh no.
What's up?
Where is my audio from the last one?
I'm so frustrated. This app, I don't know how it works well enough to figure out if it can show me all of my buttons.
Okay. So, as it turns out.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no. I think I solely exported it. Yep, I exported it. Didn't even think about like saving audition files or anything. Just exported the audio. So that's great. I was sorry. I was just worried that I lost the audio from our first podcast, which
Okay.
I was just trying to check how long it was. It was 2 hours and 9 minutes long.
How did you stop your thing to look at that? Oh, because you went over to your desktop.
Because I'm looking at it on a different computer.
Yeah, I just said that out loud, okay?
Oh, I definitely did not hear that.
Oh. Yeah, no, I was like, I mumbled to myself then, I guess. I was like, oh, yeah, you'd be looking at it on your desktop right now. Shit, yeah. I can't figure this fucking thing out. Oh, no. But I don't want budgets. Or do I? Well, because the budget thing didn't help. I want to see the flow. Give me the flow. It just shows me for November. It doesn't show me for any other months. That's really annoying. I don't know how this thing damn works. Is it average? Fuck. I don't know, man. I fucking ran out of shit.
But yeah, back to our topic.
What?
While you're looking this up,
Looking what up?
you know, if
Oh,
any
if I've
ladies
actually
out
been
there-
frivolously spending or not, yeah.
well, no, just like while you're looking this up, or doing whatever you're
You
doing.
got an ad read?
No, like if any ladies out there are looking for a connection, maybe try somewhere else. I don't know. By the time you're listening to this, it'll probably for me
Okay.
either be dead or have given up. Okay.
Huh. I think you might have been right. The month of October, $811 deposited. 888 withdrawn. Let's look at not October.
Well, but like you pay what, $640 rent?
Yep. Yeah. Let me bring this back up,
Include
and I
bills,
will.
or is that just rent?
I will read myself out here. 645 is rent. Apparently the way. Oh yeah, actually, shit, I forgot about that. This month, fuck it, We Energies wants all this shit.
Oh, you actually got your power bill?
It's a hefty bad boy.
Finally?
It's a hefty bad boy. All right.
Yeah, because it's 3 months.
Yeah. It's supposed to be every month, but yeah, it is 3 months rolled together. More, 4 maybe. No, I don't know. So apparently a couple of transactions from September the 30th got tagged along into this. A $2 deposit. Okay. And okay, so Hulu came out. I got paid. Oh my god. Yeah, I think I'm figuring out that. Yeah. This paper. This is good because literally made a budget and fucked it and said fuck it. I don't care about the fake budget. That I should have. So it was $11.99 for Hulu, and then $9.60.
Okay, just look at the paper where we wrote all of this down. We went through your entire, like, how much money you make.
Yeah.
What your expenditure is.
Yeah, I
how
think
much
it was.
surplus money
It was
you're
okay.
making.
Yeah, I know.
Lost
I
it.
know we made this. I don't know where that went. I went and got an app and did all that on an app at one point. Holy shit! Why does the checkings thing have one? It's a fake one. Wait, why did it make one? Huh? Wait. Oh no, I was just looking at this one. What the fuck? Yeah, here's August. 1,018 in, 1,032 out.
I don't know how you're surviving
June.
this
is
much
why.
overdraft.
This is why. June. 2,100 in, 1,600 out. Except all the way back in June was when I paid for my computer, and that was it really. And Counter-Strike skins.
But now you're out of saving.
Yeah, wait, where
money,
this thing
right?
doesn't make any sense. Yeah. Yeah, wait, why are they all stupid? 8-9. It didn't make one on the 10 first. Okay, cool. Because this one's from October. But yeah, it looks like I actually had been spending way. That's a little bit too much, yeah. Because August would have had a rent in it.
But yeah, you could.
I actually, though, think.
If you had to take care of a living thing, you'd have enough. Like, you just gotta stop buying so many crates.
Things. Yeah. I know, I stopped that a while ago. Yeah, because last month with October, I guess the issue is, like I said, income was 810, but that was with covering rent checks with shit from my parents. Yeah, here we go. The deposits for the month of October that pertain to my paycheck. Totaled $765, and I had needed $695 for my rent because they got the utility bills and shit in it, which would have left me with $70. Those $70 would pay my internet bill of $40. Go away. Come on, open up. Pay my internet bill of $40. And then technically I would be paying. I got rid of the Hulu subscription, but that was like $12. That leaves me with $20.
Where'd you get rid of Hulu?
Cause I Could you hear? After my internet and my
Why?
rent, I was at like $20 for this month of spending money, and I don't know what else that would have included. Oh, Sprint now, it's like $3 a month instead of
$3 a month?
better than 30 a month.
How are you at 3?
Because I'm on the free program, they just pay for me to have like an account or something. Yeah, and then the whole time I'm over here just blowing shit tons of cash at Office Depot.
Yeah, you buy so many snacks from there.
Oh, do you know what I found? I found my
What?
rewards account. So we have a thing where if you spend $500 in a 12-month period, you get a VIP on the reward status, which just means you get 5% instead of 2% back on rewards, and some other junk.
How close are you?
I'm only $120, and I don't know how many months that is within. Yeah, I need $126, and I don't know how long that counts for. Like, yeah.
You don't know how many months.
That is, yeah. I'm pretty certain that's only like maybe 6 months. And
Oh
those
my
are
goodness.
purchases that I've remembered to put my rewards card on.
Oh my goodness.
I spend so much god awful money at that place. Let me go look at here. Mint, good old Mint here. That's the name of that app that I had for the budgeting. Can at least tell me, like, because I told it to categorize stuff. So I think I can look at. Can I sort it by name? Or maybe not. Damn it.
Anyway, not sure how interesting this is as a podcast. Now that I think about it.
It's because we ran out of stuff.
It's not so much that we ran out of stuff, I think. It's just that something has brought us here.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's other stuff about, like, I was going through my phone earlier today, and, like, I've got a lot of really weird, not weird, I've got a lot of notes that, like, are surprisingly...
Kill.
No, they're, like, surprisingly good notes, and I'm like, am I sure that this was me, or was it someone else taking these notes on my phone? So for instance, I made note of this collapsia. And collapsia is the delusion where something appears more beautiful than it is, which it's the name of a song that I like, but also, like, it's just sort of a great term, like, to think that's a real term exists for, in the English, or maybe not the English language, it's probably from another language, but still, like, I don't know, I love it. I love these terms for, like, things that sort of can't be quantified using just words, where you need a word to describe an entire sort of situation or feeling. But, like, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people experience collapsia and kind of don't realize it. They see something as more beautiful than it is. But that was kind of a more shallow one. There's this Bible verse that I just copied down. Not sure. It's from the Book of Job, but I don't know where in the Book of Job. But it's I believe it's from the Book of Job. One person dies in vigor, completely secure and at ease, well nourished in body, bones rich with marrow. Another dies in bitterness of never having enjoyed anything good. Side by side they lie in the dust, and worms cover them both. And I'm just
Yeah.
like, that's one. That's really depressing.
I mean, not really.
What am I doing? Well,
I
I
mean, I
was
understand
sitting on the
what.
bus with people, having just gone somewhere, but like, what I wasn't really feeling it. I'm me. Um, I've got these sort of antisocial, and so I'm just like sitting here, and the actual interpretation is that in the end of
Right. In
well,
the end,
my
nothing
initial
ends up
interpretation is
mattering.
sort of like you can, or everyone is equal. Like everyone dies in the very end. But the way that I interpreted it today was like it doesn't matter if I live a happy life or a sad life. Sort of like this state of being still leads to the same end.
Right.
So
But
like, what's the point?
what? Yeah. Well, but the end doesn't matter that much. Like, who cares if you end it? Like, everyone's gonna die, sure. So make your time before your death great. If you're gonna fucking live your life miserable, you know, hating I don't know hating something, being annoyed by stuff, whatever. If you live your life just being a miserable person, hating the world and stuff, and then you die, and then someone goes through their life happy and enjoys it, and then they die, sure you're both dead. But someone could look at it objectively and be, well, this guy enjoyed his time being alive. Sure, they're both dead, and it's meaningless to you, but to you as the observer. But to the person, like that's all that matters. Like if the person enjoyed themselves, that's what matters. Because no one else can be as important to someone as themselves. You are your most important thing,
Oh yeah, I know that.
and
I
so
don't know why I just had like this really depressed where I interpreted it the exact opposite way that I like intended to when I made a note of it. I was like, sort of like my life doesn't matter what I enjoy. Doesn't matter because in the end we all end up dead. And like I was kind of depressed about that, and I was like, then again, whatever. Um, but yeah, I've got a lot of like quotes and stuff. Like when we seek to destroy others, we often hurt ourselves because it is the self that wants to be destroyed. I think that's a great quote.
probably
Really,
is.
10 out of 10. And then I have a lot like conversations. We could literally talk for hours about all the things, write down like my thoughts. It's almost like I'm journaling, like or like a diary, because journaling is more about recording events. It's almost like a diary of my thoughts uh, at any random moment, like me trying to sort of figure out what my own personal philosophy is, because I kind of need to figure that out so that I know what I'm doing in life. And like, if you want, we can talk about them.
I
Maybe
mean,
not,
no,
my
I'm down for that. It's
okay.
that was interesting conversation, except for when it turned out that we actually both had the same interpretation at first. It just at one current moment, it was it was what it was.
Okay, so um, here's one thing. This kind of came up in I was having a small group discussion in a class. Um, there's this thing that I wrote. It is man's nature to desire the power of God, but it's also in his nature to want to destroy himself. The true tragedy is not the audacity to dream, but his blindness to the truth, that one cannot be achieved, and the other and the other cannot be avoided. And so it's kind of focuses on philosophy. It's like kind of realization that I had that sort of at the end of the day, everyone wants to be God, and I'm not talking about like
Right.
Christian
You mean
God,
like
Muslim God. I
you
mean
mean
like
like the
uh,
the best and everything there is.
the concept of God is some sort of powerful being that exists sort of on this other plane beyond like humans. Uh, we could never become power, but it's sort of this idea that we like everyone is at least born into this world with this sort of inclination wanting to be God. And I wrote down these great notes in class while thinking about this, where I sort of kind of summed it up. So if you sort of break down, kind of break it down, like what is God? God, to be God requires power, but there's also a level of responsibility where you are responsible for sort of everything, I guess you could say. Um, Not so much saying that free, but that sort of there I guess accountability. Whatever you do because you have all of this power. But humans, but the thing is that uh, power and responsibility are directly related, but it's also the path of most resistance. And so by default, people are born sort of with no power and responsibility. And that's sort of like you don't really have power over the world around you, and you are responsible for your action. And since having all of this power, like lots of power and lots of responsibility, is the path of most resistance, humans tend towards having, or they want to have all power but no responsibility, which is sort of this idea of arrogance that we have. Is like wanting to be powerful and not accountable for your own actions. That's kind of what we think of arrogance as. And sort of immaturity is wanting, or is having no power and no responsibility. But it's also unsustainable because you
Can't
have to
find
be
anything
responsible
else.
for something. You kind of can't just sit around and do nothing because then you're not living. And so you've kind of got these states of sort of all power and all responsibility, or lots of power and no responsibility. It's like man's highest, and no power but responsibility, which is man's default, and no power and no responsibility, which is sort of immaturity and seen as
Doesn't
juvenile.
look like anything useful.
And so there are different types of power. Like whenever I say whenever you power, like there's power that someone thinks about, um, whether it be like you can sort of sum it up as love, knowledge, power, which sort of correlates to the three powers of the three sort of things of the Christian God, which is
Those are the types
omnipotence,
that
omnipresence, and
let the partisans know who they
omniscience.
are.
Sort of knowing everything, having uh, power over everything, sort of very physical point of view, and sort of being everywhere, being important and having people sort of recognize your importance and love you or fear you or whatever. That's you can sort of characterize any kind of desire that people have into one of these three categories, where either someone wants to do something to someone wants to be a big time business person because they want sort of power over the world around them. They also want sort of like this importance. They want to feel, they want to know stuff, and sort of no matter what you do, like most people's desires fall within these things. And but we as humans, sorry, I keep saying we as humans, we as sentient beings, because I'd like to believe that there's, that either animal intelligent and we don't give them enough credit, or that there's some sort of like other beings out there. Like I want to believe that aliens exist. There's no proof for it, but it feels sort of limiting to say only think X way, because you never know. But anyway, like we sort of exist outside of like whatever typical philosophy. There's, or at least there's no concrete way to sort of lump all humans into one category, or like all intelligent beings into one category, because there's always outliers and there's sort of opposing perspectives. And so, like, if you look at some politicians, like the good politicians, they take the path of most resistance. They are looking for this power, but they also try to be responsible. And because it's the path of most resistance, they don't. It's hard for them to get far, which is why you don't have like world leader, because it's difficult to be a responsible world leader. But at the same time, responsibility is important, because people don't like arrogant leaders, and they tend to overthrow them, or dissension happens, and groups break up and whatnot. But kind of like we destroy ourselves, and it seems like it's sort of this trend throughout history that people try to become powerful, and they try to gain all these things, but in the end, you're really just destroying yourself. Also, this is supposed to be a conversation. Here I am.
I don't mind listening to you. I'm not gonna lie, you can see what I'm up to right now.
Yes, I can.
But I literally, the only thing I could think of is first of all, what was your goal of any of that?
What do you mean?
Like what was
my goal?
Your point were you trying to make? Were these just observations?
It's kind of me trying to rise the world.
Or
I'm trying to like figure out what my worldview is, because like I sort of feel like as an adult I'm going to need to know like how I see the world, and I'm gonna need to explain why I think the things that I do. It's a good enough time as any to try to figure that out.
Okay, got it. So, okay.
Being the cynic that I am.
Okay.
I'm kind of towards
right.
this.
Alright, cool. Yeah, well, I was listening to you. After a point, though, I did start to be like, where are we going with this? Am I? Is
Yeah,
there? Because
that's
you're
most-
right. Like when you asked your question, when you were
talking
like,
about.
when you were like, I thought, this is supposed to be a conversation. I'm rambling or whatever. At that point, I went, I mean, I guess, but I don't really know what I'm supposed to converse with.
I don't know. I was kind of bringing up this thing and kind of hope. I don't know. You
Hey, wait. You watching this? You watching this?
Yeah.
Oh!
I hope you know that
Oh, I
there's
missed.
heavy,
That's right.
heavy lag going on. I am not seeing what you're doing as you're doing it, and also your stream is
Wait, what's wrong?
not happening in real time.
Wait, I don't get. What do you mean?
It's jumpy. I'm not seeing things.
That might be on your side, cause
Yeah, it's
Okay.
it's definitely on my side.
All right.
Because I switched down to 240p, and now it's fine.
Okay.
It's good. 720p and 60 frames per second.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was kind of hoping either you disagree with me, and we could have a conversation.
Okay.
Sort of,
Got
it. Talk about that, or you'd agree with me.
Oh no,
like,
it's
sort
not. It's not.
of Work on.
Okay.
your
It is.
side.
It is
Okay.
actually just how OBS is picking up Sniper Elite. Okay. Well, I've never seen that.
Oh yeah, because I'm looking at you.
Yeah.
And you are moving at
Interesting.
a regular speed, and Sniper.
What if I just do this? I didn't know that was. Ooh, don't do that. Does that help? All right. Just like that. The issue with Sniper Elite wasn't running at 60 FPS, so OBS didn't know what the fuck it was supposed to do.
Okay, yeah, I'm seeing that now.
Yeah. I guess. Yeah. So the thing with power, I did start to zone out. The one thing I did apparently listen to you was when you were talking about power. You're like people's thoughts on power. When I hear the word power, I think of electricity. So there's an issue there, I think. Or maybe not.
When
Maybe
you
it's
think about
wholesome.
people power,
But
when you
with
think about
people power, I guess you're right. Like people, generally, I think you're right. I don't know about God necessarily. Like, I want.
Well,
I know what you mean. I heard what you're saying
think,
about.
like, I want to be God.
Right. I know.
But,
That's what I'm
like,
saying. What I meant though is, like, from my personal, like, I do want people to like know who I am, and like be able to recognize me or something for something I did that impacted them. Don't know how I want that impact. I mean, obviously, I say obviously, it's not completely obvious, but I want it to be positive. But like, how that
I
positive.
mean, I'd
like,
say that is obviously few people. This is another thing that I've realized. Few people want to be the bad guy. Like, I'd say, like, maybe 0.1% of people want to be the bad guy. I'm sure,
Well,
like,
okay.
Hitler definitely did some terrible things, but
technically,
Hitler didn't want to be the bad guy.
right. That's what I'm saying. So
You
I
heard about
what,
Germany.
right. What? Well, right now I'm fucking. Never mind.
This is becoming very useful.
No. What I meant though was I didn't want to be like impact people in a negative way, like what you're saying, like unintentionally though. Like you said, Hitler probably didn't want to be the bad guy. I don't want to accidentally be a bad guy. Hopefully, I'm supposed to be blowing this up right now. But yeah, but like other than that, like I don't necessarily want people to have to listen to me, or obey me, because it's too much work for me. Like I say that again, I obviously know this isn't for me, but this is all I can draw on my experiences. Personally, I don't care like if shit, because now we're saying like unlimited. Like the only way is if people would listen to me in sense like it'd be like get money and shit. Fuck, I don't know at this point.
Exactly. Like, these are hard things to think about, and that's kind of why I want to and talk to someone about it, because I can't just think about this on my own.
No,
The one thing I sort of get myself stuck, and like I don't explain things well, because in my mind it makes perfect sense. So why do I need to keep thinking about how to explain this? Obviously, like, it makes sense. Everyone gets what I'm saying as soon as I say it, but no, that's not how it works. You have to think about stuff a lot, and
So,
don't know what I'm
I
doing.
guess,
Yeah.
people in power. Honestly, I like to pretend. I say pretend. I mean, because it's just human. But I like to say like, oh, I would take the high ground and be good or whatever. But I guess one of the best and most weird examples that this sort of thing where I had access to power, and I was originally planning on being good, but then didn't. How long is it? Well, I'll just do it, I guess. Rust, right? I was playing with, I don't know, I guess this dude's name was Max. And so when I was playing with Max, we're both, you know, start of the game. You've got nothing. You know, you're supposed to go and try and get your rocks and stuff, but like everyone's trying to like fight everyone else to get the resources. And so, you know, having two people makes it really like a lot more simple, because it's like you can have someone watch your back. You're not gonna get like clotheslined or killed by some dude. And so we get some stuff. We have a spear, and I don't remember what the other thing was, but we had a spear and a bow, I think it was. And with that spear and bow, he had the bow, I had the spear, and you know, random people are coming up to you, and this one guy was just like, are you friends? And without even talking, because normally these people they'll fuck around with you for like 5 minutes and they'll try and kill you. We just killed him straight up. But when I had originally started playing, I was like, no, we're not gonna be like that. I'd much rather just die than kill someone before. And
Kill
yet,
people for no reason.
well, okay, I
Cause,
mean,
like,
I say no reason, but technically it's a preemptive reason, but it's not really great. But it's like I would have killed them because they were gonna end up trying to kill me. But I would have much rather.
Maybe they weren't.
Right. I mean, yes.
I'd much rather give them the benefit of the doubt,
Yeah.
and then kill them if you have to.
Right. Well, yeah. That's what I'm saying though. Is
Straight up preemptively.
I
killing
would have
them.
I would have probably been able to kill people in defense, but it's a lot harder. But my hope, you know, my literal, like, what I told myself when we started was, I'm going to...
Like, naive optimism was that you'd
I-
be better than that.
Yes. And then I didn't. We started playing, we got the spears, and then some dude comes up, and before, you know, he doesn't even get to say anything to us, boom, I just fucking stuck him, and he died. And I was like, it's alright.
It's
But-
kind of just like absolute power.
Yeah.
Absolute.
Exactly.
You didn't even have absolute power. Like the smallest amount of power.
Yes, that was exactly it.
It's
He was
hard to.
He was the only person, I'm pretty certain, not only, but he was one of the only people at, like, whom I could have affected with my power, and I did. And I did. So,
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm sorry, I just died. to the tank, I guess.
I'd like to believe that when I eventually can run Rust. You know what? I probably could on my laptop. Let's be real here.
You could run what?
I
Oh,
could
Rust?
probably run Rust on my laptop. Like, I just need to plug in a mouse and start playing. But like, I'd like to believe that I'd be friendly to everyone. But it's also like, at some point, I would just get so sick of like dying over and over.
Yeah, and the thing
that I
that
would just annoy
the things
everyone.
that would become really frustrating would be the people whom, like, when you get nicer stuff, so you finally have like a pistol or something,
And then they come up
Sorry,
with
give me a
assault
second. I'm trying to
rifles.
figure out how to blow up a goddamn tank. There we go. Okay. Are you shitting? Okay, I just bounced a C4 off a tank. But yeah, when you get the guns and stuff, people who see you, like they're called nakeds. That's what you are if you
Well, yeah, when you die, you spawn naked.
Yep. But they're literally like called like nakeds, like a race or something, a division. Like it's those
I think
nakeds.
I've grabbed all.
Yeah, anyway, the naked.
And
You
so
get a pistol.
when you have your guns, like the nakeds will just come up and try and kill you with rocks just to get it. Not because they need it or want it, just because it's a gun and it's like a goal, and it's like if you get that, oh my gosh, that's pretty cool.
Well, then they
So-
do need it, and they want it.
Well, they don't need it; they just want it, is what I'm saying. Like
That's the easiest way to get it.
yes, it's not to go and find
Much
because they changed it
like
up a lot. You have to like
science,
find
the path
blueprints
of-
and shit for it. It's
With like science, the sort of things follow the path of least resistance, like electricity,
yeah,
and the
people.
most resistance comes with doing the right thing, like while also sort of working towards your goals and things that other people are also
This
working.
dude's running towards where he thinks I am. Oh, he's dead. Sorry, but
This
yes.
is kind of why people like on a weird note, why people. I feel like this is why people rape people, is because like they.
I'm sorry,
they
this is why
want
people
someone to
what?
love them, rape people.
Okay, yeah, okay, that's sorry.
I don't
not,
know what I'm saying.
Look, it's fine. You say. I just wanted to
uh,
make sure I heard you right. So, okay.
People want to be wanted, and they keep trying to, and at some point, they like.
Oh,
decide
I
to
shit. You know,
out
I've
of
got
it.
perfect
Take
example.
it by force.
You know what? Do you know what r/incels is?
Yes.
So, there was a post not on there, but fuck, I don't actually remember where the post.
Red pill.
No, I don't know where the original thing I saw, but basically, it was quit. Oh, it was from Quit Your Bullshit, and it was on legal advice. I'm a female, and something like I want to go get drinks with my friends. Something like, if someone was to get raped, how would we go about reporting that or something? And then the one comment's like, oh, you would go and like report it to like the local police station or whatever. But I've checked your post history. You're not a female. You're the furthest thing from it. And it's like, apparently it was some guy from r/incel who was probably planning on attempting to rape or was thinking about doing that and trying to figure out the best way to do it without getting arrested or anything. I was like, whoa. So yeah, because I think that's right. Yeah. So I would agree with your statement. It's a little bit weird that you brought up the fact that you're like, I am. Oh shit. Oh god, Melee. It was kind of weird that you brought up the.
Oh yeah,
people who
yeah. I
die alone,
realized that.
and then it's like, but people who die alone that could be one reason they go to rape. You're like, ooh, careful now. But I think I understand. It was in the line of thinking went something like, I can now that I've given up, I've been thinking about it though, not rape, but thinking about being alone. I can see why someone might resort to such an act from this motivation.
Yes. Because it's hard, man. I think everyone realizes that it's hard, but I think people who get into relationships a lot, or like people who are currently in a relationship, like it's scientifically proven that when someone goes through something that they gotten through, you feel less sympathy for them, because you know, like if you've gotten through it, they can too, and so like they sort of don't realize that it's a hard thing to get into a relationship, and like it's sort of taking the first steps of like approaching someone and figuring out like what they think of you, all this stuff, and I don't know, man. I think people sort of forget that it's a thing. I don't know.
Neither do I.
I kind of forgot what my point was to be
I'm
there. Beyond, it's a difficult thing.
Yeah. You know what's not a difficult thing? It's ripping people's intestines out right now. Who would have guessed it's so easy? Oh god, I got reinforcements coming? Shit.
Wait, is that Elite Sniper 3 or?
This is Quattro's.
Okay.
Ooh. It just looks like ass, so I could run it at, I guess, the 60 FPS or whatever. Oh, good, more bullets.
Well, I was more just asking because I didn't know.
Oh, yeah.
Like I knew.
I have
Sniper.
not. I know how this
Yeah.
game's supposed to be played. I don't have the patience for it. This
But
mission.
you don't play it stealthy.
Yeah. The best part is I started playing this mission stealthily, and then at some point I blew it, and instead of like reloading, like I had done that already as I reloaded, I just said eh, and then I've just done this, and now I'm like almost dying in a firefight.
I think that with stealth games, or with games that can be played with, I guess all stealth games, unless the game like literally there's always the option to play it stealthily.
Yes.
I think you kind of at some point you can't get
One of the
too
games though that I
into, like the idea of just playing stealth. You
Yeah.
kind of to
but usually
deal
you
with whatever happens.
you'll separate it. I did that with Dishonored. Oh my god, what a game. But yeah, there's a game called Dishonored, and I played one.
Oh really?
Yeah, I don't know why I said that, but I played one I played it. How is this guy alive? I played one game stealthily, and then one game. Okay, I say stealthily. One game sort of stealthily, as much as I could handle it, which was pretty stealthily, but just sometimes I couldn't finish it proper or get the mission completed stealthily. So I like a little. I'm sorry, not stealthy, chaos.
Chaos and good,
It was
right?
chaos. It was high chaos and low chaos. So it was. I played the game without killing anyone,
And then you played the game
murdering everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh. It's funny. I can't. Don't seem to be able to. Okay, whatever. I was looking at this and I couldn't save it. What's going on? But
Should
anyway.
I probably stop this?
Stop what? Recording?
Yeah.
No. Well, just keep going.
half of this conversation was based off of this though.
Well, I think we can cut it out.
Alright.
I used to record church, and I would kind of have to sometimes cut around bits that wouldn't make sense unless you were there.
I see.
I've gotten really good at figuring out the right context to cut things, and also no one will ever know. It's great. You can just add. You can add a pause after kind of the last thought, and go straight into a new topic, and they'll never know.
They'll never know. They're dumb, right?
They'll never know. Yeah.
Do you see what I just
And
found?
more reason to watch a stream so that you can
Watch all the intense action.
Yeah,
I'm excited now. I haven't used one of these.
Like, all of the conversation that
I hate.
there's a chance you might miss something.
There's a chance you'll
just
miss a
listening
lot
to
of.
it. Great
Do you
conversation.
see this happening?
Yeah.
I tried shooting at him. Okay. Huh, that was a headshot. Look, I'm sneaking around.
But anyway, what were we talking about before Incel?
Benny!
Before we talked about Incel. what were
Before
we talking
before
about?
we talk, I mean, you're dragging this.
Oh,
to
right,
your head.
'cause
you were.
You were saying about power, and you
Yes.
like to believe in Rust.
Yes, yeah. That was a good one though. Yeah. In Rust. the whole power definitely fucks with you, and even if you really like to think that you won't, you probably will.
Yeah.
Oh,
And like that's
mistake.
kind of one of the things that thinking about it is doing for me is it's kind of forcing me to not be brutally honest with myself, but to be honest with myself about like what I want and sort of like what other people want, and trying to avoid idealizing things. And like you can't just look at people like in the best light, but you can't look at them in the worst. You can't like. I sort of realized that people like to think about like, is man good or is man evil? But it's more like man is lukewarm, and you know, people can be crummy and people can be nice. But at the end of the day, I don't think anything like that is like inherent. I don't think that people are inherently evil, because no one tries to be the bad guy. Everyone believes that they're doing the right thing, but at the same time, you can't say that people are inherently good, because just because everyone believes that they're doing the right thing doesn't mean that they always do the right thing. And so I kind of have to say that people are lukewarm, because like sometimes you do the right thing and you know it. Sometimes you do the wrong thing and you know that you're doing the wrong thing, and you know that you should do the right thing, but it's so much easier to not do it and stuff like that. And I don't know, man.
Yeah.
When you think,
I
people think about life, they sort of forget that. Oh, I had another quote about this that I wrote down on my phone. I think it was the more you think about a person, the more of an abstraction they become.
yeah.
And so, like, for instance, with Hitler, I like to come back to Hitler because Hitler's a good example.
Hitler's a terrible for internet example once.
Well, yeah, because the internet's like crazy. Well, not crazy.
Yeah, no, I know.
But the internet sort of goes to the extremes of everything. And then sort of the idea that people thought about Hitler so much that he's become this abstraction and this sort of representation of pure evil. But no, for one thing, Hitler was elected, so he must have had some ideas that people
okay.
like the
I
German
thought,
people
like, I knew
believed
the whole
in.
he was elected and stuff, but like I thought it
But
wasn't
then,
like
you know,
I
he
thought it
did
was like
other
partially
stuff.
rigged or something.
I'm not sure, but
I mean, like, you know, by the
I don't know.
fucking his
See,
party.
even to rig things, he still would have to have his party all agree. To some degree, there were other people like agreed with Hitler.
Yeah.
And sort of like at some point,
Maybe it was.
like at some point they could not see what they were doing. They still believed that what they were doing was what they had to do, which in part is the fault of sort of the rest of Western Europe and America for screwing Germany over at the end of the First World War. But like they still thought that they were doing the right thing. But everyone likes to think of Hitler as this guy who you almost think of him as he knew killing the Jews was bad, but he just thought, you know, we have to exterminate them because we're superior. It's like kind of, yes, it's kind of what they thought, but I think they were more thinking about they wanted Germany, they wanted the country that they cared about so much to be strong and independent and sort of
They're just going about
not
it the
like
wrong way.
subservient to all of these other nations who are now sort of in control of them. They wanted to sort of be an independent nation, and in the process, things went kind of overboard. But yeah, so, or like I sort of used to call it the Ian effect. No, it's not so much the Ian effect so much as I make things difficult for people, but there's sort of this weird thing where like people start ascribing these traits to me that don't exist, or like sort of in people's minds I've become this person that I'm not, because or at least I'd like to believe that I'm a very good person to read, and from the or to like understand, and from the evidence so far, most people sort of misunderstand. They sort of think that what I'm saying is one thing when I don't intend for it to be that way, and it's sort of just the fact that I'm so difficult to like, or I'm not super open, and so people have to think about like, what's he thinking, and sort of the more they think about what I'm thinking, the more the more of an abstraction it becomes, the more they have to sort of add these different thoughts and interpretations to what I'm saying, because they don't know. Sort of at some point they stop realizing that they're guessing, and they start thinking that that's who I am, because that's in their mind. I've become less a person and more an idea. And we do this to everyone, like celebrities. The less you hear about a celebrity, or the less you sort of see them doing day-to-day things that everyone does, the more you think of them as this sort of entity outside of reality, where you almost think of them as in some way better than you, but like they're just people. And I don't know. I sort of have to. Sometimes I have to remind myself about this, which is partially why I took the note. I have to remind myself about this so that I can sort of step back and try to objectively look at things, because I realize that the more you think about something, the less real it is. At the same time, I do have to think about like my life and such. And so it's sort of a balancing act. At least it's what I like to believe. I also feel like we should get to some more mundane topics, because we're definitely talking about kind of this, or mainly me talking about all this super serious stuff. That like maybe if I had all of these conversations separate episodes, it'd be like, oh, okay. But like having all of them once, it's a bit much. I feel like I need to sort of step back, put myself in check, and like think, Ian, what are you doing? So,
Yeah, I don't really think that much about life.
I'd partially like
really,
to say
it really
my art mind, but I think it's more that I like art because it requires this thought, not I do this because I like art. I think it's sort of the other way around.
Yeah.
Also because sorry, I keep cutting you off. What were you saying?
As I say, I like to think of the world as like I'm in it, but other people they're doing their own thing, and I just do my thing, and I don't know, the world is what it is, but like
Guess I grabbed everything useful.
all this stuff you're thinking about, I know it exists, but I don't think about it that often, because to me, I mean, you are right, I guess, the whole some people we hold up at a super high level of excellence, and they're better than normal people, when in actuality they are normal people. You're right. We definitely do fall into those sorts of thought processes and stuff, but I like to just think that's just how the world is, and it's
Nothing else to
I'll think
find.
about it when it gets there. And it's probably a terrible way to try and go through life, but I don't know, it's how I seem to do it, unfortunately.
Yeah, to each his own.
What do you know? Christmas came early.
It's just because I see a lot of stuff, and sometimes it upsets me. Like, Donald Trump. I can just say Donald Trump. Oh, but like,
Grabbed all I can.
Donald Trump has gotten a lot of people very angry, and I'm not saying that I agree with him, but I think that some people need to step back and realize that he is a person too. And I think realize politicians are people too, with their own sets of beliefs, and no politician is doing something because they want to be the bad guy. Or at least I'd like to believe that no one doing that because they'd like to be the bad guy, but of course there are exceptions. There are people who do things and they know that they're doing the wrong thing, and they think, well, I want to be the bad guy. But anyway, most people, they don't want to be the bad guy. They're doing what they think is right, and I think that sort of we need to kind of step back because everyone's getting really worked up about politics and such. We need to sort of take a breather, realize everyone's a person. People are people. People have their own sets of beliefs. You can't attack people for believing what they want to believe, because everyone says right now people are very intolerant. I want to say because we're so exposed to other people who believe the same thing as us. We exist within our social media bubbles, and so we since we'd like to believe that everyone in the world agrees with us on this thing, and there's a minority of people who sort of think the opposite of us, and that's sort of because of these bubbles that we place ourselves in, because we surround ourselves with information that reaffirms what we already believe. So we have to realize that people are people too. Other people, different beliefs, they're people too. And they have groups of people who agree with them, and nothing in the world is inherent. Because I definitely think that people on all sides of politics they're going crazy. There's definitely, I disagree with a lot of the things that the Republicans are doing, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to tie a Republican Party and everything they stand for, because I'm sure that for one thing, if someone sits down with you and they explain their point of view, it's easier to understand why they believe what they believe. And so I'm aware of this, and even if I don't 100% understand why someone believes something, I know that they have reasons. On the other side of that, there's sort of this ultra liberal culture that's spreading around the US right now of full equality now, and I agree that equality is important. It should be equal. And there shouldn't be bigots, but at the same time I sort of recognize that change takes time, and I feel like everyone is so focused on making things happen now, because civil rights movement, they were able to make not large scale change, but they were able to make a lot of change happen. all at once because they went through and they like protested and they made people aware of things. And I think everyone would like to believe that their whatever they believe in, their models, following in the footsteps of the civil rights movement, and, like the sort of freedom that minorities, women, like received from it. You know, but like at the same time, I think that it's a little ostentatious to believe that whatever you believe in inherently right, and that everyone has to agree with you, and that they have to agree now. And sort of, I think that what they're not realizing is there's a lot of like old white men who are believe X and Y things, but for the most part, like the younger generation sort of agree with these movements, but to a lesser degree. Like I'm pretty sure the people that we went to school with, for the most, like everyone's pretty like what's the word? Everyone sort of believes in equality. It's sort of a thing that has been pounded into people's minds because of the media. But now you've kind of got to step back and let the old ways slowly phase out and start to make more gradual progress. Because you're going to have less resistance when you try to, or when you realize that not all change happens all at once. Here I am, rambling again. I don't even know where this all came from. I don't remember. I just know that.
Getting to these places from talking about.
Can we just talk about something like
I mean, we can, except for I don't.
mundane?
I don't know, like, last week we had some good stuff, but, like,
I don't even remember like what we talked about last week though.
last week we were just talking about fucking, like, your art school, and, like, corporations at some point. I know there was a decent amount of me ranting about work, and you were talking about your work. But it was useful that we had like a primer to like get the stuff flowing, but here I am like just kind of like
It's hard to jump right in. I keep trying to jump right into these big conversations that we do not have time for, and we as two people can't really.
Intelligent enough to have this conversation right now. Not saying that I'm not intelligent. I just mean like the mindset. You know, I was sitting down trying to program, got pissed off at that, so I just said fuck it and started playing video games.
You know, there's nothing wrong with that. I feel like no matter what we talk about, I've spent just like so much time sitting alone that like anything will sort of set me off. Like you talked about video games, and I was gonna in my mind. The first thing that came up was like people who say that video games are made for people with a low attention span. Like, oh, that's kind of wrong. Like, that's a whole conversation. Would set me off into like this huge conversation about interest, and I'm trying to avoid it right now. I'm trying real hard to talk about it, but it's I don't know, kind of the same idea of people writing other people off.
I wrote you off
Without trying to understand them.
nothing.
Okay.
tax exempt.
Oh my goodness. Okay. What can what that
I don't know.
tame conversation? It's not gonna go
I don't.
way
I
over.
don't have anything to contribute anymore. I don't know. I think part of the issue is I was in the right mindset. You asked if I was ready, and I was like, well, I'm ready to talk with you, but I guess I didn't really think about we're ready to talk with you about interesting stuff. I was over here ready to just be sit, because I mean, I've enjoyed listening to you all this time, but I realize you're right. It's not really a listen to you. It was supposed to be a conversation, but that's the thing is, I enjoy just listening to you people, you and other friends of ours. I enjoy listening to people talk sometimes. And so that's kind of what I guess I had a mindset to do. And I've enjoyed it, but I don't have much else to contribute.
Okay. Well. What? I know you. Podcast asking. What have you been up to? Like, what have you been up to? Because whenever most people, like, when I ask them, what have you been up to? And they're like, oh, nothing really. It's kind of a lie, you know. You've been up to something in the last week. It's more that you don't think that it's important enough to talk about. So, like, what have you been up to?
I had covered everything though.
What did you say? I don't remember.
I said I had played Dota 2 with Joe. I played Rust by myself and a little bit with Joe. I tried learning programming for Rust. And then I went to work. And then I think that was it. I don't do that much in a week.
Okay. Well, what have you? Wait. What have you? What are you like? Not like what have you been doing? Like what's been up in that noggin of yours?
I don't know. What's been up is literally for the last like 3 days, all that had been up in my noggin is
The mission at the dockyard
thinking
proves
about
it.
trying to
Production
get
of Kessler's missiles must be in full swing.
like able to
the
code and
components I
thinking
found
about that
couldn't
sort
have
of
been for any
logic.
other purpose.
Thinking about
Sure, we wrecked the
not
operation.
like playing Dota 2
but how many
well,
of these components
just
have already been
about
shipped to Alagra?
playing it.
How close are the Nazis to
And
mass production of
then-
the new missile? One thing's for certain.
Like
The
when I'm gonna
Mafia
eat
were the ones
next.
disrupting the operation at the dockyard. It's a
Okay.
connection OSS are keen to exploit. Especially given Mafia involvement in Operation Husky, in which the Allies took Sicily.
I don't know. I've run out of things to say. I feel like this probably a natural end
That's
to this
yeah.
podcast,
I
but
think
at the same time, like I want to keep talking. I just have nothing to say.
I know. I'm thinking what we're gonna want to do for next week is like get a list of stuff like don't.
That's what we were supposed to have.
Right, I know, but we didn't. That's what I was saying. We didn't. We were supposed to, but we didn't. So we
I guess,
should
yeah.
like make sure we have a list of stuff typed out, and then start for like not recording, but 30 minutes of just talking. Because
Well, I think it's also we need like an audience because I feel like once we have an audience,
then we'll
we
kind
could
of know
like
where we want to gear our stuff to.
yeah, or like ask for submission. Like ask people to write us with stuff that they want us to talk about. And
You can there's quite a few places you can write. You can go to
yeah, but I feel like
batmanflyer4@gmail.com, batmanflyer3@gmail.com. Ian Steam server@gmail.com.
I guess, yeah.
I have
The issue is, like, they need to... We need to get people interested. So, one, we know what people want to talk about. But also, if people want us to talk about other stuff, they can be like, hey, talk about this. Or, like, we can give advice. Because I think that I give great advice. I've gotten feedback that I give good advice, but it's usually like, at first, it's not what you want to hear.
Yeah.
And then once I explain why, it's like, okay, yeah, probably what I should do. Or like, wow, that is well thought out advice. Because all I do with all my free time is just sit 80% in my head, 20% doing whatever I'm supposed to be doing.
Because he's about to get executed. Sorry, yeah. I should just done with the silence rifle.
But yeah, like, if you guys want to email us,
Yeah,
asking
let me
for
literally
advice.
I got this. I've been doing enough of these in the last way too long. I better not get copywritten. Oops, that's not right. This one, that one.
Also, while you're doing this, I've got some homework for you. Slash, we can talk more about this. But like, you know how at the beginning I was kind of talking about like rap music and stuff.
Yeah.
I want you to listen to Pimp a Butterfly.
All right, put it in the thing.
And whatchamacallit, the Pablo or something Pablo. It's Pablo's thing by Kanye West, because I definitely, now that I'm looking for, like, I'm outright looking for sort of more artistic things, like I'm more open-minded, and so I've realized that, you know, the life of Pablo. Kanye West isn't as crazy as we think he is. It's all kind of, really, since I've never met him, sort of, I can't say for sure, but to my understanding, it's all persona.
All right, boys and girls. Hit us up at the Imaginary Room Podcast at gmail.com.
Oh my goodness.
What's the quickest I could do this on? I guess just Notepad and blow it up.
But we're gonna podcast at 9 p.m. on Sundays.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least we try to. You know, can't say for sure whether it's always gonna be 9 p.m. But
we'll aim for it.
if you email us right before then,
yeah, or
we're
at any
most
time
likely
at all ever.
Yeah, don't just email us at 9 o'clock on Sunday, but if you do email us,
yeah, if you want to get ahead of the curve and get before all those, yeah, do it then, because we'll see it. All right. Yeah.
it'll be at the top of the list. That being said, if you send it after 9 o'clock, unless it's really interesting, not gonna.
Yeah, we gotta have pre-approved it. Mm-hmm.
You got deadlines and you know, stuff like that.
Important stuff. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
More importantly, to force you to not just sit around waiting until you think we're talking and then everyone emails us all at once. It's like, how are we supposed to read anything when we're just getting email? If you email us during the week, there'll be less people that we're looking at all at once, so we can really read your stuff with more depth, and you know,
Nothing else.
pick it out if it's good. At the same time, you know, if we're just about to podcast and we're doing a last check and we notice a new email, we're not gonna look at it with as much depth. But you know,
Mhm.
we'll be guaranteed to, well, not guaranteed. We'll be more likely to see it if it's coming in right before we start. Just don't be jerks. You know, we have stuff we do. We have lives. You know.
He does. I don't.
I mean, I kind of sit in my room,
But you have
I
like
don't want them to know that.
responsibilities.
Yes, I do. Well, you have work, but I have homework.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
That's what bugs me. You have work, and then work ends, and you get to have fun.
Yes.
I have school, which means it's basically work, and then I go home and do more work.
I know. Yeah. Yep.
That's anyway. I'm not gonna rant about that.
Damn it! We just found a topic, Noah. That would
Yeah,
be
we'll
about
talk about-
an okay conversation piece for like 5 minutes. All right.
No. We gotta wrap up. We're
Yeah,
wrapping up.
I know. That's what I was saying though.
Right. So we will. You'll see us again next week.
Yeah, next week.
This
well-
has been.
As long as we release these a week apart.
Who cares? Well, you'll hear from us when you hear.
Yeah.
This has been.
Ian. And
Ian?
Ian and Ian.
Can we not do
I'm
this?
Ian,
I
you're
feel
Ian.
like we did the same thing. I
We
feel
did
like I
that for
said
an
the.
intro. Yeah, we did that for an intro.
I did. I said the same thing too. Can we not do this? It still
Yeah.
can't be and dumb. It's just like.
yeah.
How about this? It's gonna end right
Now.
now.
Bye.
Okay, that's it. We're done.
What's it? We're done. No more. I don't actually have a hot mic set up.
I hope that I got a good spike on that.
I didn't make one for you, so whatever.
Okay, I got a good spike. And
Okay, cool.
the same duration, you know, as long as it can line it up. Now
Who the fuck is seeing me?
that we're not streaming. Now that we're not recording. You want to switch into Mateme? And we can
Hold
listen
on.
to.
Let me.
We can listen to this album together.
Yeah.
It'll be an
Hit that up
experience.
there, and then just hit this up with the that. All right, beautiful. Close this. No, I don't want to save untitled notepad.
All right, I've got to like save this.